Okay, ready start. Okay, only a few person. So I think I have to make announcement in the group. Solomon using Windows 10, is it? This one
Yes,
is
Windows 10.
whiteboard, Microsoft Word. Microsoft whiteboard, is it?
So should we start now, teacher, or just wait for the rest?
No, start now. We need to wait. Yeah, they
Okay.
got for those.
So good afternoon. Me and my friend here, Fu Suyong and Tane, will be your assistant for this program, Guru Muda thing. It's like the Jawatan asking us to help you guys for the math subjects so that you guys can be more motivated in math subject. So first of all, today our discussion, we'll dive right into the statistics topics. So first of all, let's not waste time. Let me just ask straight away. For statistics, it's quite simple. What do you guys that you don't understand? Hadith and what else? Who else? One more person is Hindu. Veneswari Selvam.
Dalam topik ni saya faham Selwan.
Hah?
Dalam topik ni saya faham.
Oh, faham. So macam tu kita macam buat revision je lah hari ni kan.
Okey, boleh.
Okay, boleh.
Do you want to show your face and then we take a group photo as a profile for the group? Do you want or not? If you want, then you
No need lah,
switch
teacher.
on your. No need lah. No need lah.
No need, teacher.
Think better, then can know each other. Only 3 person now about Alif. And then one more is
Handsome
who
aku
is this?
Suyong.
No need lah. One or no one? Alif, please answer. Switch on your mic. To show your face, I scared the person.
Teacher, my
inside
camera
is
got
not-
problem.
Oh, got problem. So you don't want a good photo lah?
Hadith
No,
bogel
it's okay lah.
Never
pakai
mind.
baju.
Okay lah, I know, then we start lah. Okay lah.
First question, ask you to complete. Very easy only.
So Vaneswari, do you understand this topic?
I'm not Venezuelan. I'm Mishwari.
Ashwari.
Ah,
Okay, then I start away. Okay, the first, this one we look, it's given the question is frequency polygon. So we look at the x-axis and the y-axis. The x-axis is actually giving you the midpoint because as we know that the first information given is 141 to 145. The midpoint is 143. So to complete the table, you know that this is the midpoint for 146 to 150. So on, and you fill up all the information for the height, the x-axis, the height. So this one is the midpoint, 143. So you just continue, keep on using the same size, 145 to 141 to 145. The size of the class interval would be 5. So you keep on, you begin with 146 to 150. Then you begin again 151 to 156 until the end here. Okay, let me just. What? Did you get that? Did you guys get that? The first part, Hadith and Aswari? For the height, filling up the height.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, great. And then for the frequency, the point plotted is actually already the frequency. So you just fill up, just make sure that you look it properly. Maybe the graph looks blur, it's okay. So you just try to look. Hold on, try to zoom. So over here, your first frequency 0, 0. This one would be 5, 6, 7. Then I try to look for the. Okay, never mind. It's okay. So since the question is already given frequency polygon here in the diagram 14, so we know that its thing, its plot, each point plotted here is actually the frequency for the x-axis. So let's see over here 141 to 145, which is this 143. The frequency will be 0, and then the respective, the second one 146 to 150, the class interval for that class interval, the frequency will be around, let's say 6, 7, be around 7 or 8. Later we look at the answer, it's okay. And then for the 153, you have to look 10, 11, 12, 12, around 12. So that's how you look for frequency when it comes to frequency polygon. And then cumulative frequency, you just add up. So the first one is 0, and the second frequency would be, let's just say 7. Wait, I put on here 7 so you won't. Here's 7, and then here's 0. So here's 0 also, right? Cumulative frequency. So your cumulative frequency will be add up. Here will be 7. Okay, nothing's hard about that. And then the next one is, let's say the second one is 10. Let's give it a value 12. Zero, 7, and 12. So your cumulative will be, you add up together. This is 0, this is 7, and then you add up the 7 with the 12, so you get 19. So that's your cumulative frequency. And then when you have, so what my point is that you have to fill up the frequency first, the box inside the frequency, then only you do the cumulative frequency, because you add up with the previous frequency from the previous class interval. Okay, for upper boundary, it's mostly like you add a decimal of 0.5 behind the class interval. So let's say this is 141 or 145. The upper boundary is 145.5. The end of this 145, you just add 0.5, 145.5. And then let's say this is 150 to 155. So your upper boundary will be 155.5. And that's about it. Is that okay, Hadif and Eswari?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So you know how to fill out. So that will award you around, let's say, how many marks? Wait, let me erase first. So the main point is that you don't get how to know the answer the table. So mean, for mean, it's, you guys still remember the formula mean?
Saya rasa frekuensi darab dengan upper boundary.
No salah ni Ahmad. Jauh. What is it? It's so for mean, which is means the average also, it's actually sum of midpoints times frequency, which what we're going to say is that sum of midpoint times frequency is that from the frequency polygon, the midpoint is 143, then you times the frequency of that respective class interval. Let's say 143, the respective class interval is 0, so 143 minus multiplied by 0, and also you add up with 148 times the respective frequency, which is around 7.5 or 8, and then you plus again with 153 multiply by 12 the respective frequency until the end. You sum up everything, and then you divide the sum of midpoint times frequency. You divide by the sum of frequency, which means you add up all the frequency and then you divide it by that total. So if you guys have filled up already, here's have a look at the answer. Wait, hold on. Okay, here's the answer for this one. So wait, question 2. Oh yeah, this one, 141. So just now, as we already discussed, that the height, the frequency is 0, 0, and 8. So it's 8, not 7, 8. And the cumulative frequency, you add up with the previous frequency. So 20, how you got the 20 is you add up the 12 and 8. The cumulative frequency, you add up with the current frequency, 12 minus plus 8, and then 23. So you look for this, what's important is that you look for this box, this frequency first, then only you add up. You find a cumulative frequency. And upper boundary, as I said just now, you add up, you add a decimal 0.5 at the back for the upper boundary. So, but then if it's looking for lower boundary, then you look for the lowest value, 141. Then you minus by 0.5, so you get 140.5. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then mean is the average. As I said, it's a sum of the midpoint times with the sum of frequency times with the midpoint. So here 148. How do we get the 48? From the frequency polygon given. Just now the question here. let's look at here. It's 148 here. We don't start with a 0 because you can start with a 0, of course, but then it's still going to get 0 because we all learn in primary, whatever times with 0 becomes 0, right? I hope you know that. So you start with 148, just like the answer given here. 148, you times with the frequency. Don't times with the cumulative frequency. For average, you always multiply with the frequency. Follow the formula given. If like you're in an exam and you forgot how to find the mean, because the question usually will always ask for mean. Like in trial also, I remember they ask for mean also. So make sure that if you already forget, I think they give the formula at the back of the question, at the back of the paper, or at the first page of the paper. I forgot, but then it's always there.
At the first page, Lolo.
Yeah, first page. So always remember that you take the frequency and you multiply with the midpoint, the class interval, the midpoint of the class interval. Okay, so you have how do we look for midpoint? It's very simple. You just take the highest value minus plus the you take the highest value and you plus with the lowest value and you divide by 2. Let's say for the first class interval, 145 plus 141, you divide by 2. You get 143. So that's how you look for midpoint for the class interval, and you multiply with the frequency and you add up together and you divide by the total frequency. You add up here, 8 plus 12 plus 23 plus 38 plus 13 and plus 6. You get 100 and you divide by that. You get the average of the data, which is 160.7. Is that okay for mean?
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, bro.
okay, for graph, the ogive, usually you ask for ogive. I think I found a perfect example from the internet. Hold on. Can you guys see this graph? Okay, for ogive. Okay, this one is not based on the question. Can you guys see the screen? The ogive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can.
great. So for ogive, it looks something like this. You can either start with the zero value, and then you put the, Tani, is it upper boundary or lower boundary? Oh, okay, upper boundary. You can use upper boundary. This is not based on the question just now, but then I hope you get a bit of a logic. The x-axis.
I add in some more. Okay, this graph actually is not valid. Sorry, I disturbed a while. Because as the marking scheme, so this 0 cannot put below the line, it must send the line or above. Okay, this is my comment. And then this one better you put it here. Stop at this part. Don't have any distance from here. This is the right way. But many, I think in the web, they are doing wrongly. So this is my comment. Okay. Okay, can continue.
Okay.
Solomon.
So teacher, the answer scheme here also wrong, right? Actually, because the graph should actually start with the 0, right? Here.
Yes. The one also
Okay.
wrong already. You must
Okay.
start from the 0.
So for all Jive, you always begin with 0 as what Mr. Lee said. You begin with 0 here, and then you continue growing. That means for this particular x-axis, you begin with the 0, frequency 0, cumulative frequency 0. You put here 0 on the y-axis 0, and then here you put 100, 145.5. Then you begin here 145.5, and then you begin until the end. Is that okay? Wait. To give you a better picture, just draw a bit. Let me share a whiteboard. Please don't judge. At least you get. So what I was saying is that you put 0 here, and then you put 143, 145.5. And then you begin. You begin from here, 0, and then you just draw until like this. Something, the shape of the graph you do like this. Begin with 0. So Hadif and Aswadi, do you get that?
A bit lah, bro.
Yeah.
I think Halif and Aswadi in the class also I teach you all like that. I don't know you all still remember or not on the day teacher already show in the picture how to draw the whole guy.
Yeah, start with the 0 here, and then you begin until the end of. So remember, also one exercise, you follow the what do you call the range? You follow the question given. Dot. What do you call it? The range given in the question C.
Why no sound? What happened?
Last one, D. Hold on. For D, it's asking for the percentage of those students whose height is more than 167. So from the x-axis, you look for the 167. It's quite hard to look from here, but then you have to look 167 between the class interval of 165 and 165.5 and 170.5. Just count and you look for 167, you plot, and you look for the the point of the y-axis here. After that, since it's asking for more, so asking for this percentage, not this percentage, because it's asking for higher than 167. Therefore, once you have found this, you find the percentage, it's like, wait, how do I? Okay, so for the percentage D is now the question. After you plotted the 167 to the y-axis, and then you give it, let's say this one, I cannot really see, but then you have to draw it. Um, let's give it x, the value is x. So you take the total of the frequency, which is 100 minus x over the total, which is 100, and then you times it by 100%. That's how you look for the percentage. And then you get the value of the percentage. The x, of course, is not x, it's actually accurate value. You have to plot from the 167, plot to the point, and then a one straight line to the y-axis. And then this particular point is your x. You take the total value of the frequency, you minus with this plotted point, and you times it 100%. You get the percentage of the students with more than 167 cm.
Do you guys have any other questions? Like something you don't understand?
Maybe after the explanation, we just let them try to do this first question first, first and second. So it's like a demonstration for how to do it, and then let them try first, and then after that, if they have any question, they can PM us. Does that sound good? Question for straight line, Hadif. What straight line, Hadif? What do you mean straight line?
The chapter for straight line.
Which question?
The chapter
no.
for straight line.
Oh, you want chapter for straight line? You want discussion for chapters straight line?
Yep.
The one is totally out of this topic, right? Statistics, the straight line.
Yeah.
Remember, the next lesson, maybe Solomon can prepare the straight line
Yeah,
for them.
sure, can.
You could also ask in group if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all for the statistics. For question 2 and 3, they can try to do first, and then I think if they have any question, they can PM us, and we can try to help.
Let's see, Solomon.
Yes.
Any? Oh, so the class will be ended here, is it? Any comment? Iswari, any question? Okay. Oh, you're well done. Huh? Okay, thank you very much. So for those want to leave, can leave already. Thank you, Solomon.